So guys, welcome on in. Today, we're at a very special on-site location, and we've got a special guest to introduce where we are. This is Caitlin from the museum.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm with the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University in Philadelphia. We're excited to have you here today. Right now, you can come in and see some of our permanent exhibits like Dinosaur Hall. You can see our dioramas of wildlife. We also have temporary exhibits on ice dinosaurs and ecology of fashion. We are the oldest natural history museum in the Western Hemisphere. So if you want to come in and learn more, just visit ansp.org to find out more about admission.
And that is linked, y'all, in the chat, and you can also donate to the museum today if you like what you see. Thank you so much, Caitlin. So guys, we're going to go ahead and start looking through the museum. Munchkin is very excited. Munchkin has been very excited going in to see Tops. As y'all know, it is her favorite dinosaur. It's off right now. And she is leading us to show you all the dinos. As y'all can see, she's got her very idea of what exactly we're going to be doing today. But guys, welcome on in. Again, with the Museum of Natural Sciences at Drexel. And we are looking at all things dinosaurs today.
Hey y'all, long time no see. Happy to be here. Yeah, she is very excited for Tops. As many of you will know from hanging out with paleontologizing, there are a lot of dinosaurs that superficially look quite similar to the triceratops. Munchkin is still learning about this, so she's very excited always to see this fossil collection right here. Not a triceratops, but I think we can understand why she might assume that it's the same. Yogurt, Garrel, Harissa, all of y'all, how you doing? Thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, and Munchkin is just running amok back and forth, so we might have to check in on her in a minute. So I can take you guys over. So this is the Chasmosaurus. Oh, hang on. Here we go. See, she's showing you guys. She knows. She knows. Laura Gail, welcome the heck on in. Hey, hon, why don't we swap back and forth and I'll manage the Munchkin for a bit.
Alrighty, y'all. So there are, like y'all mentioned, ice dinosaurs that we'll be looking at today. They are not made of ice, but they are endemic to the Arctic and Alaska. This right here, I don't know if Lita was showing this to y'all, but this is the Chasmosaurus belly. Trick tracks, yes, absolutely. The dino might bite. Munchkin would like to come over. She's got lots of thoughts. So there it is, the Chasmosaurus belly. And we've got a nice graph as well on when they used to live. This is, again, Munchkin's favorite setup. This one, it is a ceratopsid, which is one of the groups that our triceratops falls under. We then have here a hadrosaur. So what's really cool is there is a exhibit right over there that is for Hadrosaurus falki. That is the state dinosaur of New Jersey. Munchkin, I think, really wants to go over, y'all. But this is the Corinthosaurus. So this is a hadrosaur-like dinosaur called the duck-billed dinosaur because they have a duck-like snout. And just to give y'all a perspective of how big this is, right? This is huge in terms of the height. So how the assemblage is put together for it is really, really impressive. What you're able to see here. Again, this dinosaur 30 feet in length, 8 feet at the hips. So just to get to the hips, it's about 8 feet in height. This is late Cretaceous, so 76 to 73 million years ago. And this sample in particular was discovered in 1927, but it wasn't assembled here at the Academy until 1987. And actually in 1984, y'all, I think this is really cool. It was rebuilt to be a more accurate standing position. So one thing that we've talked about is that over time, there's been rebuilding of the skeletal structures to be able to see what more modern science tells us about how they stand. And so originally built here in the 50s, rebuilt in the 80s to be more reflective of what the science is and what we know about the science today. I think is really, really cool to be able to see something like this and just know some of the history and take away from it. Take a look at that, y'all. So cool. Really, really neat, I think, to see something like this. There we go. There's the ceratopsid. I'm going to go over a little bit. There's another ceratopsid here. So this one here, this one is Avaceratops lammersi. Avaceratops lammersi is located here, and the spelling for it, there y'all go. So this was found in 1981. There have been no new horned dinosaurs found in 3 decades, so it's an extremely rare find. Okay. Oh, we need to go through. So the little background information on this. So this is an ornithischian, so it's bird-hipped is what it's known as. This is an estimated 400 pounds. Montana, where it was discovered. Deinonychus, there's actually a statue of Deinonychus outside of the museum, and these are the skeletal equivalents here and here. Deinonychus is actually named after its claw. That it's a terrible claw that it's called as. It's considered to be a pack animal, like hyenas. And so this is again just how it's been discovered in groups of them. Here's an example of the Deinonychus claw for y'all as well. Code Veronica knife only today. Nice, Kimmy. Kimmy, we need a remaster of Resident Evil Code Veronica. I'm just saying, Kimmy. I'm just saying. But this is an example of the Deinonychus claw right here. And so cats can pull their big claws in. The Deinonychus can move its big toe claws back and forth so that it wouldn't be able to be affected in the running position. And again, pack animal like wolves and hyenas. This particular one was found in Wyoming to Montana, early Cretaceous, so that's 115 million years old. 3 feet at the hips in terms of height, about 10 feet in length. And this was a carnivore. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So this, y'all, that we're looking at here are not the original bones. This is a cast. The cast means that it's a nice 3D copy. And the original ones of this Deinonychus are actually preserved right now at Yale University. But this is an exact replica of Deinonychus. Check that out, y'all. And what's really cool that you can learn about, of course, is just when you're examining these dinosaurs and figuring out, all right, what exactly its diet might be, you're able to take a look and just see like the teeth and try to identify what exactly some of that functionality is. Now, there's a second dinosaur here. Can anyone guess, based on its teeth, what this one eats? So if we take a look at the teeth, Look, I'll do a little compare contrast. First of all, the Deinonychus, right here. None of this is original bone. All of this is a cast. All of this is a cast. So you got the teeth there for Deinonychus, and remember the claw that we were just talking about? There's that claw that Deinonychus has right there. Hexadecimal glued and Andrea, welcome in. How's it going, y'all? This dinosaur, though, look at this one, y'all. This one has fundamentally different teeth. Look at those teeth. Miss Art Rules is correct. This is a herbivore based on those teeth. So it is a plant eater, and the structure of the tooth is very, very similar to like a kangaroo. Idea right now is that this animal that is named Hadrosaurus skeletti can move on its two back legs and drop on all fours to graze for vegetation. Is the hypothesis currently. This animal is about 5 feet at the hips in height, estimated weight about 1,500 pounds, ate mostly plants, had the same region and time in terms of when it lived as the Deinonychus, so these two would come into contact with one another. And the length of this one, adult is 7 meters, and juvenile is about 4 meters. The one that we have here, and the one that is modeled in this cast, we consider to be a young juvenile. So check that out, y'all. It's really cool to have both the Deinonychus and this Tentrosaurus simultaneously in the same exhibit. And again, this does make sense. They were found in the similar region of the world, right, and the similar times in which they lived. So we've got the Deinonychus there. When y'all raiders were coming in, we were going to this dinosaur here. So this is Hadrosaurus folki. Y'all may know that the Hadrosaur was discovered in Haddonfield, New Jersey, which is somewhere where we have gone and taken y'all to the original dig site. The original person who discovered it, his name was William Parker Folke. He was a member of the National Academy of Sciences, and he actually got contacted by a farmer, and the farmer was like, hey, I found some dinosaur bones. And so he went ahead and funded the entire dig site to dig up an entire dinosaur, and it was the most complete hadrosaur found to the day of. And it was actually donated to the museum. These are the pieces that were found. We do have, this is a replica that are mounted here, but these are in the correct position based on the research that has been done since. So they have re-identified where these pieces go and have assembled the hadrosaur of what it would most likely look like with today's knowledge. But those are the bones that were utilized. And it is the state dinosaur of New Jersey, the hadrosaur. And if y'all remember back, we did have a stream where we actually showed y'all a really, really cool statue of a hadrosaur, which I think is also really, really neat for us to be able to have. Hello, Dacum. Welcome on in. Dacum, I hope you're doing well today. This is the beautiful hadrosaur, again, a state dinosaur of New Jersey, discovered at a farm site in Haddonfield, not too far from us, currently in Philadelphia. We've got another ceratopsid here as well. This is a ceratopsid skull. What we've got here is a Torosaurus latus. So it's one of the largest skulls of any known land animal. This is also one of the last dinosaurs to actually walk the earth. So this was very late Cretaceous in terms of the discovery time. It's 68 to 65 million years old, and this is a plaster reconstruction. So we've got another plaster one here. This was actually discovered in 1891. In 1891, a gentleman named John Bell Hatcher found 2 of these skulls from 2 different triceratops. Celestial Bean Art, hello. Thank you for the 38-month resub, madame. Queen Bean, how are you doing today? Guys, do go check out Celestial Bean Art. Bean, thank you for the 38-month resub, madame. How the heck are ya? So this was called the Torosaurus, was the genus, and the reason this was called the Torosaurus is because it meant perforated lizard. So do y'all see all the holes on the skull. Hogan, thank you for the 100 bits. All of these holes in the skull are what it was named after. It's also named lattice because it's wide. So check this out, y'all. The width, it's much wider than most skulls, and then all the holes is what actually got its name for. So it's all based on morphology, and it's just a really, really beautiful specimen that we've got here. This was also worked on at the Academy in the 40s by Edwin H. Colbert. So again, if you're a part of Danny's stream, you'll know that there is a lot of study that's been done with this. So actually, this was 3 years. This was prepared, this specimen, for 3 years before it was put on display in 1947. And the person who was putting this together actually studied and described the skull as the third known specimen of this genus species. Which is, again, it's really, really cool to be able to see this. J-Rex, welcome on in from Queen Kimmy DNC. I hope all is going well. But yeah, check this out. Really, really beautiful. Interesting side note here on the piece. It says that Colbert and Bump compared 3 Torosaurus specimens that the Academy had. They found one that was smaller, and they wanted to do a comparison to figure out why. And they decided actually that all 3 belong to the same species. They were looking at the differences in the hole size, and they were like, that could be possibly as a result of the sex of the animal or the age, which I think is really cool. They had the foresight not to split them, but rather to actually identify them. So guys, this isn't what the full skull looked like. This is the full skull. So this, don't worry, so this is an original fossil that we have here. So there is bone on this, but some of it has actually plaster. So this has some real bone and some plaster put into it. So the beak, for example, on this is plaster, but the part where the horns are actually real bone. So this one that's on display is a mix of the two. Check that out. And it's really neat that it's not behind the glass container, that it is trusted by the museum for folks to be able to come and see. And yeah, this is a Torosaur too. It is expected to have been bone for the beak. Even these parts of the horn here are bone, and then there's keratin that forms on top of it. So it's a little bit a combo of both, which is, I think, really, really cool to be able to see. When the raid came in, y'all, we were actually over here. We were looking at this ceratopsid. This is the Avaceratops, and there's actually a unique beak that this guy has too. Take a look at this beak, and there's a really neat diagram here about what the beak was used for. So it's a plant eater. It has sharp edges on the beak, and the hypothesis is for using biting off stiff branches, twigs, teeth to chew up. And there's a similar pattern. Dacum, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Dacum. Because there's a similar beaks, no teeth, that tortoises use. So again, it's an example of maybe convergent evolution, where you're looking at and comparing and contrasting modern animal structures to ones of the past and seeing, okay, what are the most close similarities to it? Other similarities that are drawn here too of closely related cousins might be like a hippopotamus or a horse. So some of the ungulates. And so if we've got the comparison of the ungulates here to these particular individuals, I think that's a really neat one to be able to have and hypothesize like where they ended up living. Right on here, this is a ceratopsid. This is 76 million years old, and quite a beautiful specimen, I must say. So we were checking out this really, really beautiful fossil today, and we are at the Ice Dinosaur exhibit. So a bit gamey. The dinosaur that we're going to be going and looking at today is a very special Alaskan dinosaur exhibit. Munchkin and Lita have wandered off. Munchkin was not quite happy, so we've wandered off for a bit. There are some pterodactyls, y'all. Pidge? JD, thank you for the gifty to Pidge. That's a really good hit, JD. And Duca, thank you for the $100 or 100 bitty kind of B2 bits. Thank you, Duke. Queen Coffee, welcome in as well. Coffee Rocks, how you doing? Queen Coffee Rocks. Oh yeah, of course we're bringing the dinosaur. Guys, there's a pterodactyl for us as well. I'm not sure which one this is. There are hanging exhibits and murals up at the top that we'll be able to look at. So don't you worry, we're going to take a look at those as well. I'm very excited to show you all the ice dinosaur, but before we do, for BitGamey, aka the Kanubitu King himself, here is the king of the dinosaurs for BitGamey. Any guesses on who this is? Named after the Kanubitu King himself. JD, thank you for the gift sub to Thunder Cookied. Jay Dizzle, thank you very much. Guys, if we do complete any level of Hype Train, we'll do some raffles this evening once I'm back at the computer. Yes, the ancestor of your modern day chicken nuggets. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Each arm, so this is an interesting fact, y'all. Even though it's like a puny little baby arm, could lift 400 pounds in one arm. Magister Rex, welcome to Hey Colony. This is 12 feet at the hips. 6 tons is the estimated weight, which I think is really, really gnarly. This range was Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, Colorado, New Mexico, Saskatchewan, which is where Yogurt Girl is from, and Alberta, Canada. Late Cretaceous, so 68 to 65 million years ago, and we do have a carnivore here. Check out how cool that is, y'all. Absolutely beautiful. And this has also changed posture over time. So they were telling us, Duke, thank you for the 200 kind of B2 biddies. Thank you very much, Duke Soft. Hi, Jaded Fairy as well. Jadavati, how are you doing? So this, again, has been rebuilt over time. So the original position of this T-Rex is different than its end up that originally was. Yes, we do have some marine reptiles as well. Don't you worry, we have those as well. But Yogurt governs Saskatchewan, Dacom. You know, she's got an image of herself in Saskatchewan. So interestingly enough, about 24 good specimens of T-Rex have been found so far. First one in 1902, the second one in 1907. Both in Montana, and both of them were actually incomplete. And this was originally named in 1905 as the Tyrannosaurus Rex or the Lizard King. Jaded, me too. Don't tell anyone. Just you and me, Jaded. Don't tell anybody. One really cool component is if we take a look at the tooth here. So again, sharp points, rounded edges. And the question is, do you think they were better for biting through flesh or for chewing plants? Can you find your pointy teeth or the canines? Canines are used for biting through and ripping. It's an absolutely beautiful system that we've got here. Oh, from absolutely Reptar, 100%. And Reptar did go to Paris as well. And then, y'all, there's a couple of other meat eaters that we've got here as well. Don't you worry. We've got several meat eaters here. We've got the Eoraptor, which is about 3 feet in length. We've also got the Hadrosaurus. Hadrosaurus about 15 feet in length. As we just go up in complexity, this right here, if y'all have any guesses as to who that is the Dilophosaurus. And one way you can tell is that little ridge right up on here is a Dilophosaurus skull. We've also got the Archocanthosaurus here from Oklahoma, Utah. This big one right here. Cast of the Manjuncthus for y'all here. And then a Velociraptor mongoliensis. This is named as a swift robber from Mongolia, this velociraptor right here. Look at that raptor. Originally 6 feet in length, estimated to be 30 to 50 pounds. Late Cretaceous here. The one, JD, that you were asking about, I'll give you a spelling here. There we go. The Manjunctulus. And that one, whoop, come on now, Gimbal. This one, y'all, let me see. Oh, we don't have, oh, here we go. Yeah, we do have a summary on this. This one is from Madagascar. This particular one, identified in Madagascar. Guys, thank y'all for that choo-choo, by the way. Late Cretaceous as well for the 75 million years old for this skull. That. Now, we're not done yet, don't worry. We've got some folks were mentioning, hi, Hella Harry. Shark Geek was mentioning about there being some marine reptiles. So we're going to start off with this one right here. This is a beautiful ichthyosaur that we've got. This is 200 million years old. This is not a dinosaur. This is not a dinosaur right here. This is 200 million year old marine reptile that we've got in the house right now. Really, really beautiful specimen. I think it's really, really pretty, y'all. Take a look at this. Hi, Queen Supreme. Supreme Doom. Welcome the heck on in. Supreme, we were looking at some Canadian dinosaurs a minute ago. But this, so, chat, this is a real fossil slab. This is not a reconstruction. This is a real-life fossil slab, and this is the most complete one that has ever been collected of this ichthyosaur. Absolutely beautiful. Now, there's also some bony fish. Classy Christina, welcome in. Hella Harry, today we are at the Museum of Natural Sciences at Drexel University. There is a pinned message at the top where you can check out all the exhibits. This is a bony fish. Take a look at that. That's a pogger's face if I ever saw one. This is estimated to be 1,000 pounds. Range in North America, late Cretaceous, so 90 million years old. And this is called a Zipfactius audax. And I'm going to give you all the spelling of this because I have no idea how to accurately pronounce that. But notice the needle-like teeth. This one that was identified, this fish, had a 5-foot fish in its stomach. So it's really cool that it was identified simultaneously. You got a 2-for-1 deal, and inside its stomach, it ended up having a 5-foot fish. Now, another beautiful specimen is this one. Any guess on who this is? Not just a pogger's face. This is a Mosasaurus. So the Mosasaurus, this one's estimated length is about 43 feet and 2 tons in weight for this mosasaur. Fish, ammonites, other animals, and this was discovered in Kansas. Late Cretaceous for this guy as well. There's actually a special joint here at the base of the jaw, and that's what allows it to grab large prey. Now the teeth are really interesting in that they curve backward. So there's these unique backward curving teeth, and these are called the tigroid teeth. And so because they curve backward, if we take a look, that allows them to catch on and hook on to prey better than if it wasn't curved. So a little bit of form and function for y'all. And just to give you an idea of how long this goes, going backward here, we're holding on to for that glue. So that backward curve essentially means no one's going to be able to keep hooked on. Again, which I feel like, oh man, that is a really metal super metal takeaway from these. But as we're continuing on, these are again not dinosaurs, to be clear. These are marine reptiles. These did not stand upright. The legs of these were held out to the side, much like modern day reptiles. Dinosaurs are considered to be terrestrial, and there are no aquatic dinosaurs that we have defined to date. Everything that was aquatic is considered to be a marine reptile. Oh my goodness, Beauty and the Beast. Why, welcome on in, Raiders. Raiders, how was the stream? Tell me all the details. Beauty and the Beast, welcome in. Guys, what were you up to today? Raiders coming in, my name is Balint. I'm 1/3 of SciAnts streams. The other 2/3 are my wife, Lita, and our daughter, baby Alona, aka the Munchkin. Lita and I are research scientists with our PhDs in molecular biology, and today, taking on an IRL trip to see some dinosaurs. Whoop. There we go. And we're currently looking at a mosasaur. We do all kinds of science content here on Twitch every day of the week. We do IRL trips to museums. We also do fossil collections, IRL in the wild of digging up brand new fossils. We do sample collections, science news, science art, all the things. On an oil painting today, very cool. Beauty, feel free to throw anything that you want into chat. We usually like to share people's work. Very difficult to do in an IRL setup, but please feel free to plug any and all socials. And guys, go follow Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure we'll get a big fancy pants shout out for you in just a moment. But y'all, welcome on in. Again, we are looking at some dinosaurs today. We're going to be doing there's a special exhibit going on through the end of May, which is for ice dinosaurs, for Alaskan dinos. Thank y'all for the follows coming in as well. These are ancient turtles that we're looking at now. Thank you, Spike. These are about 3 meters or 10 feet in length and weigh up to a ton. And these used to live inland North America in a body of water that is no longer around today. They used to live in a body of water that actually divided North America into 2 separate, like right down the middle of the continent. The original time that this one was discovered was in 72. Those y'all. Thank you, JD. Thank you for those games. Now here, y'all, we have a mosasaur. This beautiful mosasaur specimen, y'all, is a juvenile. So we just looked at the adult. So there, look at that. That's the adult specimen. Huge, huge. We'll walk over and look at it again. But here is the juvenile specimen. And this is approximately 6 feet or 2 meters in length. Follow. Eating fish, ammonites. And this right here is a composite, meaning that this was taken from multiple different pieces. Originally from the Smithsonian in DC. And so this is pieced together. Which again, I think is really, really cool to be able to see. There we go. Here is the original. This is the adult mosasaur right here. So, hello, Harry. Thank you for the 53 biddies. This is the original adult stage mosasaur. And you see we're just going and going and going, and it continues to keep going, keep going, keep going. And there we go. There is that adult stage mosasaur. This one, for comparison, y'all, is 43 feet in length compared to the 6 foot one. So the 6 foot is the Baba, and then we've got the 43-foot adult here, which is, I think, really, really incredible. And then again, for those coming in on the raid, we do have the Tyrannosaurus Rex. We do have a T-Rex here that we're able to show off to you. All right, are y'all feeling ready to go to see the ice dinosaurs? Are we ready to go see some ice dinos, folks? Or should we go upstairs? I hear a Munchkin somewhere as well. Munchie's favorite is the triceratops. I hear someone going tops upstairs. right. No, this is not Sue. This is not Sue. And we'll go ahead and start here. We'll go ahead and start at the Troodon exhibit. So we've got the animatronic and the bone dinosaur here. So note the feathered accurate dinosaur, which I think is really, really cool to see. That we are able to see, again, these models that have been put together that are in fact feathered. You're able to see. And again, this is with modern data. And we'll go look back at the Pachycephalosaurus as well. There we go. So this is again a Troodon. Not of this one glued. She didn't like the one that was the Pachycephalosaurus. The story that this is telling is that there's a mated pair here, and the mated pair actually have laid birth to these colored eggs. Now, whether or not they're really colored, right, we don't know. But it's still cool to see, I guess. Yes, this is one of them Tribunes. But it's really cool, y'all, how you can see like it's very much like that feathered style that we know and learn today. Especially from like Danny's stream about like, you know, birds are dinosaurs, right? I hope that Danny would be proud of this particular exhibit. And then here you can see a lot of the teeth right here. All right, and then this, y'all, is the not favorite side of what Munchkin had. She does not very much like these. But these are Alaska Cephaly ganglofi. Alaska Cephaly ganglofi. So these are Alaskan pachycephalosaurs. Now, folks, speaking of squirrels, we have one of the first mammals here. One of the first mammals here. So this is a very small little creature, right? And we know a lot of the first mammals were very, very small. This is about 4 inches in size. It's from the Prince Creek Formation. Mouse-like marsupial, which includes opossums, kangaroos, represents the northernmost of these have ever existed in Alaska again. In winter, they probably hunkered down and dug in the leaf litter in abandoned trees or burrows, maybe venturing out to forage. Yeah, y'all, do go also check out 111 Lion Creative for all your musical needs. Yeah, there we go. There's some mammals on exhibit too. Now then, folks, here's another intro on exactly the zone that we're in today. So here is that Prince Creek Formation. That's where that mammal was discovered. So a lot of what we're looking at today is in this upper zone in modern day Alaska. The field work that people do nowadays has a lot of challenges, right? Primarily because of the working conditions, the winter work as well. And so it is not easy. The team is actually 500 miles from Fairbanks, which is where like the biggest city is that they're able to do. Yeah, way, way north of this. There's Canada. Look, there's Yogurt Girl. Now, we have a ceratopsid here with some fuzz on his booty. This is Leptoceratops. This dinosaur. Oh, I hear a Munchkin, y'all. Do y'all hear me? Dino! Oh, there she is. Dino! See how this is a small herbivorous dinosaur? Look at its beak again. Again, the guess is that that beak has helped it break down small foods. This is also found in that Prince River Creek Formation. 73 million years ago, 7 feet length. And this, y'all might be like, what exactly are butt hairs? This was actually discovered in the fossil, and they were quill-like feathers that were in the fossil imprints. So again, not quite just a hairy booty, but there was some kind of quill-like featherings that were identified in the actual fossil imprint, which I think is really, really cool. They've also, what's neat about this particular dinosaur, they actually found both the dinosaur and embryo hatchlings together. So this animal was the first one to actually demonstrate that there was Arctic nesting, which is why this one also has this nesting site built in with it. So really cool organism.
Okay, so I'm not sure, y'all, exactly where. Did he say he finished the Leptoceratops? Munchkin was very excited for the Leptoceratops. They have 2 Troodons here, so I'm guessing he already showed you the one previous to this. One with the quills. I'm guessing that was the Leptoceratops. I don't know. Do we call these officially quills? So this is Leptoceratops. Again, not sure if Balint showed you guys this one. This is the one where we left off. Okay. I really like that in their dinosaur exhibit, like their feathered dinosaur exhibit, they're showing sort of a range of uses of feathers. I mean, normally when we think of feathers, we're obviously thinking of modern birds, typically, right? And how they use their feathers, which is both for flight and also insulation and warmth, temperature control. But especially in the beginning, when these were just sort of little nubs of keratin, as it were, they could be used for a whole range. I mean, they certainly still can be used for a range of things, but not all dinosaurs had modern day feathers, right? There were a lot of proto feathers and uses like this, potentially, right? A lot of this is speculative, which is reasonable, right? Informed speculation. I actually listened to a really interesting podcast on, I think they called it Jurassic Art or something like that, but the idea was it was an artist who specialized in renditions of not just dinosaurs, but like bringing to life animals from fossils. So he was actually an artist, but obviously had to know a lot of anatomy, et cetera, and how he started like in the 70s and how our conception of how an animal might look has really changed. And to illustrate this, he had a book on taking modern day animals and just reconstructing what they would look like without any of their soft tissue, like based entirely on their skeleton. And so things like the elephant just look absolutely ridiculous. Also, thank you so much for that follow, Neat Wave. Appreciate it. Welcome the heck on in. Sorry, I was a little slow on that. So anyway, I love this. It's a bit speculative sometimes, but okay, so we have a Troodon again, and I believe there was a Troodon earlier in the exhibit that Balint would have shown you guys. These are their research notes, so I'm going to just read you guys the research notes that they have. It says the Alaskan Troodon, which is what they're depicting here, is the largest known member of the The largest known member of the genus was a predatory raptor with large eyes, binocular vision, serrated teeth, sharp hand claws, and large killing claw on the feet, which is what we're seeing down here, y'all. Pound for pound, it boasted one of the largest brains of any dinosaur, rivaling those of birds today. It will soon be named a new species by APRC. Interesting. The Alaska Troodon apparently is going to be considered a new species. We should check in with paleontologizing and see what he thinks about that. It's called a killing claw. Well, that is what the note says. I don't know that that is an official vernacular, but I imagine that that is the claw. If we look at these back feet, that might be what is used to sever, to bring the scuffle to a conclusion, if you know what I mean. So this is the dromaeosaur. I hope so, guys. You know, I was maintaining Munchkin for a little bit there. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go into Munchkin's favorite room here. I think Balint might want to cover. Oh, hang on. I think Balint probably showed you guys this, but we have to do one quick cruise by. You know, there are some modern birds that are occasionally, it's lethal, but that are occasionally like born with teeth. And it is disconcerting as heck. Like I said, it seems to be lethal, so you can even see it in chickens sometimes. They don't actually like fully hatch and make it to maturity, but is this not disconcerting? Tell me. Something about the beak with the teeth is extra hard for my brain to process. CM Costman Smikes, thank you so much. Yeah, they did they have some fantastic details here too, like the background murals that they have. We could spend so much time here. I know they close at 4:30 and they were very generous to let us, this is the first time they've let social media folks in, so we are very grateful to them. If you guys are anywhere in the area, this exhibit is through May 4th, so I would strongly encourage you to come. It's really impressive in person, and there's so many things throughout the museum also. I'm hoping maybe we'll get to come back and show you guys some of their longer standing exhibits as well. Did they have teeth for chewing or was it for killing? I believe in that instance, we can go back in a minute, but I believe that was more for an eating rather than a chewing. They did not look like a masticating kind of tooth based on that reconstruction that we saw. So this is Munchkin's favorite dinosaur, y'all, and I'm breezing past ornithomimid and some other cool things that we'll definitely loop back on, but this is Munchkin's favorite. She sits here. She'll just park it and look at these guys. She knows that these are dinosaur babies also. The little one. Balint just asked her where the dino Bubba was. Let me see. She's gonna show us. Oh yeah, she knows where the dinosaur. Yeah, it's not a triceratops, this is true, but in this exhibit, she absolutely loves this guy. So this is a Arctic relative of the tyrannosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'll read you guys the research notes here. You know what, I'm gonna just read them. We'll look at the dinosaur and I'm gonna read you what this placard says. See if we can get a good view here. It says Alaska's tyrannosaur was named after today's dominant Arctic predator, the polar bear. It was initially thought to be a dwarf species but research shows it was actually quite large. Relatives of it were feathered, especially those from cool environments, suggesting the polar bear lizard was also covered in hair-like plumage. And again, I like their terminology, hair-like plumage. So it is feathers, but not flight feathers. They're, proto-feathers, or feathers that maybe had a different, less structured shape. Because in order to be capable of flight, those feathers have to be very, very carefully crafted. As opposed to like our hair, like animal hair and fur is a little bit of a disorderly mess if you look down on the nanoscale. It does its job at insulating and other such things, but that's one of the reasons that we think that structural color hasn't really ever come up for mammals like fur, even though it's keratin. It is a different kind of keratin from the keratin that feathers are made out of. But still, it is a structural protein. But maybe that would actually be fun. I might ask Balint to pull this up for us one of these nights. But if you look at the microstructure, the really fine scale structure of hair, it's just kind of a disarray. Not the way you need to be like highly organized to get structural color. The dino noises are scary. Yes, Mike, I was thinking that Munchkin would get scared of the dinosaur noises, and shockingly does not seem to bother her at all. Okay, sorry guys, I got distracted, and we should maybe circle back to this guy over here. There's so many cool things to look at. Honestly, this is why I say we could just spend forever here, and I know Balint has stuff he wants to talk to you guys about too, so I don't want to totally take over. This is the skeleton here that they're basing this on. So the idea that this guy has feathers, I think, comes a lot from that close relatives had feathers, and then sort of environmental conditions. Because these are Arctic dinosaurs. It was a bit warmer. I was reading something that said it was more akin to the climate of like Juneau, Alaska now. But so, still cold, still had times where it was, big stretches of dark and big stretches of light. And so the question is, how did dinosaurs survive through sort of the more extremes of that climate? They think some dinosaurs probably hibernated. And then also, of course, there must have been insulation. So they probably had some big adipose layers. We don't know for sure. Soft tissue is hard to come by. But fat is a great insulator. And then it's entirely reasonable to think that they had feathers. Feather fossils have actually been found not in this region, not necessarily attached to dinosaurs, but it was dated to that time. And they were able to look at like different feather structures. How do they know? They sound like this. It's not most, it I'm sure is in large part speculation. They do have, I know there are some recreations based on like not voice box structure, but some of like their throat and skull. Throat and skull structures, they can make some inferences, and then a lot of it is just behavioral. So it is speculative. Could they have had subcutaneous fat? I mean, most certainly. I would be surprised if cold weather Arctic dinosaurs did not have some kind of fat layer, substantial fat layer, in addition to whatever kind of feathers they might be getting to help with the insulation. But, I'm not a dinosaur paleontologist, so. But that is just based on my understanding of modern day biology, y'all. So I really appreciated these guys. It took me a minute the first time I walked through this exhibit. I was like, oh, these are cool dinosaurs, and I didn't even notice at first. I wonder if you guys are going to be able to see this. They again kind of have these long quill, like, I hope you guys can see this, sort of quills along the tail. Again, early feathers making their appearance.
I was talking with the PR person that gave us the introduction at the very beginning to make sure that we can continue on. But this one here, I don't know if Lita took you all to these, the Hesperornis, a western bird that we've got here. This is a piscivore, which is Shark Geek's favorite. That is a fish-eating dinosaur. Again, 73 million years old. This is also from that Prince Creek Formation, which we saw on the map to begin with. The teeth. Oh, yeah, that is. Did you know, though? It's interesting. Hi, Mr. Brain. Did you know, Blue with Gold, that you can actually take an egg, a chicken embryo, and reverse engineer it in the way that you can activate certain genes and they don't have teeth? I think that's really, really cool to be able to have that level. And then I think y'all saw the dromaeosaur as well. The touchdown, yeah, the little tunnel that Munchkin and I went in was fun. We did 2 routes in there. We did 2 routes throughout. Hi, JC. JC, hello from a dromaeosaur. I did not think he was gonna move. I did not think he was gonna move, JC. Absolutely, Sunny Carol. And again, what's interesting, if you take a look in, again, a chicken genome, you actually still have the genes to give it teeth and even have it make a tail. Yeah, we've got the dromaeosaur here. Lita went through this. This is a carnivorous one, 7 feet in size. And again, 73 million years old. Back to the Prince Creek Formation. This is again a raptor with a small predatory role. Serrated teeth. Serrated teeth for this guy. Large eyes. Possibly like a hawk-like is what the placard says. Sharp claws on hands and feet. And a very large retractable claw on the second toe. So there we go. Ah, you like it. I got you, Shark Geek. It is a very nice curve. And then y'all took a look at this one, right? The Tradoon. The Alaskan Tradoon. Omnivorous creature we've got right here. First class penguins, thank you for the follow. Welcome the heck on in. We've got an omnivore right here. So we've got both fish, meat, and some vegetation that they eat as well. And one way to tell that is, again, the teeth structure, which we'll take a look into and see what the teeth look like. Yeah, it's just a really cool version to see that this feathered dino right here. 73 million years old for this one. Again, another one from the Prince Creek Formation. This is actually going to be named a new species, by the way. This is currently just called a generic Troodon from Alaska, but this is actually going to be a new species very soon. There has been enough information posited that we can now say that it's a brand new species, which again, I think is really, really cool. There you can take a look at it as well. Really, really pretty. And then another dromaeosaur here. This one's also 73 million years old, late Cretaceous. Really lovely dromaeosaur for this one. Again, fully feathered, which is what most dromaeosaurs look like. The tail is hypothesized to be very rigid for counterbalancing. So as they're swiftly running, they don't end up falling. I know. So JC, this is a brand new, this is actually a traveling exhibit for these ice dinosaurs, and it's really, really cool to have them with the feathers. Where these fly? No, these did not fly, world-class hooker. No. So these feathers, because these are Alaskan, and actually I'll walk over and show you on the map where exactly these were discovered, because I think that's a critical part of this. It is very up near Canada in terms of like the discovery zone of these animals. Right, but if we go past, we'll look at the baby dinos as well. But up here, so if we've got Alaska here, here is the home base, the museum, University of Alaska Museum of the North. This is where the actual exhibit came from, and all the way up to right up there. That's where the actual site is. So that's, again, the Prince Creek Formation. Prince Creek Formation is where all these samples were collected from. Yeah, take a look at that. So these were all for heat conservation is the hypothesis. Again, we're right next to Canada here. Right next to Canada. So I think it's always a really nice one. But yeah, here are the Pachycephalosaurus. So here's the skull of the classic Pachycephalosaurus right here. And then the ones behind it are the Alaskan ones. So they're called the Alaska Cephaly Ganglioff, which is Ganglioff's Alaska head, named after the discoverer. Here as well. And then here are those small mammals as well that we talked about. And Munchkin is back. Yeah. So y'all, we walked over. So y'all, the Munchkin. Oh, that was the response last time too. Nope. So let's go check out. So this site here, Glued with Gold mentioned this is the troodontid nest, and there are some babies as well. And this is the one that again is said to be described as a new species coming very soon. Brand new species we're going to have described here. Y'all, I hope you're enjoying the dino exhibit, by the way. I think it's super, super cool that we're able to do something like this. And Lito and I were talking with the PR person. They've got some other exhibits coming soon. And chat, we might be able to come back and do some exhibit debuts. So I think more thing on the horizon here. This dinosaur, if y'all got to see this guy. Well, first let's check out this little fella here. So, is there proof? So actually, Glued, there have been some like eggs that have some embryos inside. And so based on that embryo size, they're able to like guesstimate like at hatching what size they would be. Which again, that's a little bit of how they have identified it. This is a marsupial, another one found up in the Alaskan region, relative to an otter. And it expected to be weighing 11 pounds. It's actually really, really rare. And the hypothesis is that it's active year-round. It doesn't actually hibernate. which I think is really, really cool. And the teeth are one way that's hypothesized to it because it's, again, very carnivorous in nature. Now this one here, so we'll take a look at the bones in a second, but this is called the Urun Naglak Kupikensis. It's a duck-billed urugalak, and it's the most commonly found ice dinosaur. Most commonly found ice dinosaur here. It's known about there's bone beds. There's actually been hundreds of individuals found of this particular guy. There's been bone beds, meaning that there's like a collection of the bones identified at a given location, and that suggests that it is a herd animal, which is really cool to be able to identify from something like this, that you're just able to have that level of information. It was thought to be similar to a hadrosaur that's migratory, but this is in fact a unique species that's adapted to live year-round in the Alaskan area. And some of the bones for y'all. This is a leg that was identified. So they stand about 7 feet tall at the hip, 25 feet in length. And this is one of the bones here. And actually, what's interesting to point out, they only stand on 3 toes. Hi, Scooter. Only 3 toes they've got. This is hi, Scooter. These are the teeth. Yeah, these are real. Miss Art Rules. These are part of the traveling exhibit, and these are the real bones. So this is the inside of the lower jaw, and it's got, if you look, there's residuals of like hundreds of sharp teeth being put in. So it makes a single large grinding surface. There could actually chew the plant material. So that is different from modern deer or cow that can't actually do chewing. And then we have one more bone specimen here. The final one, this is the femur. So this is 73 million years old. This is the real bone. This is the knee end of the femur. And there are 2 distinctive almost knuckles here at the top. And that is a unique identifier of this dinosaur. So these 2 regions right here is a way to ID that it's this particular dinosaur. And what's cool is, it even says here, you can touch this. You can touch the 73 million year old dinosaur bone. Super, super cool, I think. Did y'all do these dinosaurs? Let's go ahead. We'll look at these dinos, and then we'll look at the, we'll take a look at the touch. All right, we'll go back and touch it. We'll go back and look at the flying reptiles, and then I think we'll go to the gift shop and round out. Whoa. Just for you, JC. Just for you, JC. Just for you. Look at that. Look at that, JC. Just for you. Look at that. Boom. All right, and then we've got here. These are the Thescelosaurs. Again in Alaska, smallest herbivorous dinosaur. They dig burrows, raise their young in underground dens. There have been underground nests identified as well. Megabean, that would be unfortunate, Exducer, but it would be fun either way. So they actually built out some of the underground nesting sites of what it might have looked like here. There's a hypothesis they may have hibernated, but there's no way to really tell. Inside these burrows, y'all might see there's some insects on the outside. There's a beetle and an ant. And this is because in the actual original discovery, they found four different insects they found actually within a nesting site. And those four insects were, four beetles and a couple of other insects. They found millipedes, bees, mosquitoes, ants, cockroaches, flies, and beetles. And of course, this little guy right here, an ornithomimid. This is the Alaskan ornithomimid. Ornithomimid means "Hello, Queen Calcifer Balcifer." How you doing, Kels? The name actually means ostrich-like dinosaur. The juveniles and adults have been feathered and have been identified as such. And the adults did have these kinds of wings, although again, not for flight. Guys, the lovely Calcifer Balcifer has been his house. If you haven't already followed Kels, go drop a follow on Calcifer Balcifer. She's pushing for Twitch partner. And soon she will be the most ultimate and powerful partner that ever did partner. Go follow Calcifer Balcifer. Kels, we've been looking at some dinosaurs. Got a little bit of time left to continue looking at our dinosaur characters. But it's just super fun to be able to show you all these. Finally, let's go ahead and take a look at Munchkin's favorite. There's Muncherino. Y'all, this is the Nanoquasaurus hoaglandii. It's Alaska's tyrannosaur. Is named after the dominant Arctic predator, the polar bear. So that's where the name hoaglandii comes from. That is the name for the polar bear. Initially thought to be a dwarf species because of the size, but it turns out that it's actually not. This is its full size. This is particular to these northern dinosaurs. So it is full size. This is not any kind of miniature of a different species. The relatives of this were also feathered, and they suggested the name is almost like a polar bear lizard. This is about 26 to 30 feet in length, 73 million years old, and again from that Prince Creek formation. And there is a tooth of one of these here. There is a tooth. Super cool to be able to see. Cows, you can pet whatever you want. And then here, I can imagine there's the dino bubba, as Munchkin says, the dinosaur baby. Thank you, John Devati. The tooth is maybe like this large. It's not very big compared to my hand. And there's this guy too. Super cool, y'all. JC, there are some really good plushies of these guys in the gift shop. Just saying. What do you think, Munchkin? Dino, where's the Bubba? There's the Bubba. The baby dinosaur. So really, really cool. So I think y'all, what we're gonna do is take a look at maybe the pterodactyl and then head out. Up the upper floor where y'all went to at the dig site. Swing by the gift shop. Should I just start walking? All right, y'all. Oh, and here is also. This is also the fossil of the feathered dino we just. Right here. So this is that tyrannosaur. So here is there is the feathered version, and there is the skeletal. That guy is giving this one side eye. He's like, I know what I used to be. I think so. And the final dinosaur. They've got another Troodon for us here. Hi, Clayman. I love you, Dev. This is another one of those Troodons. So, y'all, that is the roundout of the ice dinosaurs. We've got a few more dinosaurs to show y'all. We're going to go take a look at the pterodactyl before we round out our visit today. That follow. Yeah, again, this was the ice dinosaur. But that's super cool to be able to see. There's the artistic rendition of the models. And y'all, we do have to come back and take a look at other things too. The museum's closing in not too soon. But I think would be cool to be able to come back and check out some of the other exhibits. They've got a fair bit of taxidermy. The upper floor, there's a giant moose. The upper floor has like African animals as well. Another one of those bony dinos. Hi, Freshie. Now, if y'all can hear Munchkin saying, Dino, Dino.
Dino. What's that? Do you see that dino? Is that a dino?
Hello, Tactical Yukon Cornelius, aka Humbler John. So here, y'all, is a nice overhead shot of our Tyrannosaurid that we were looking at earlier. Really, really nice specimen, especially overhead too. Hi, Pirate. We are in Philadelphia at the Natural History Museum. There is a dino dig area here too. Munchkin really enjoys the dino dig area. Only done it once so far. Well, I guess you did it today too, but kind of neat to be able to see. Oh, not only Humbler John, but formerly Smoky Mountain Blues, even. JC, 2 name changes you've missed from Humbler John. 2 name changes. So here, this is a skull cast of a tyrannosaurid. You can actually see a lot of the tooth structure here as well. Oh, there's the Munchkin. No. You want to go dig one more time? Munchkin is not feeling another dig, y'all. Or she is, but I think she needs a nap. But there we go. There's the T-Rex inside as well. Again, this is a cast. And then there's another cast here. This one here for a triceratops. Another cast again, not the actual fossil, but just the cast of one. Oh, Dan, we contacted them. So we had the PR folks. We've been emailing them, and we made sure to set this up. So I think everything's kosher because we had communication with them. We were chatting, and she was saying they checked out the stream and made sure that everything was above board before they even let us in, which is kind of cool. They were like, "Oh yeah, we can work with these people." Got a couple of others. All right, thank you for the follow. We have here the Pachycephalosaurus. This one is from Wyoming. 9 feet in length, 3.5 meters to the hips. 3.5 feet to the hips, sorry. And this is again late Cretaceous, North American, Wyoming, South Dakota, Montana area. I mean, that makes sense, yeah. This is the Pachycephalosaurus comparison that we had at the ice dino. Right. Oh, there is a pterodon, pterodactylid here. Not a dinosaur. Not a dinosaur, but a reptile. Active flyers, and they flap through the air. They had an elongated membrane running down the side of the wings. Primarily fish eaters, piscivores. Corynthosaurus skull replica. Another pterodactyl here. Sophia, thank you for that follow. Welcome in. How you doing, Sophia? Look at that skin. Very cute. We have a Stegosaurus reconstruction. Possibly how some of the inner organs were put together. And this is actually the mold of its brain case. So it had a small brain relative to other animals, and so it's when you're defining braininess, it's the brain to body ratio that's important. And so the Stegosaurus brain to body ratio was not very large. This one's a cast Tyndall, or a mold, but then there's other ones that we have actually seen real life bone, and then we've also seen ones where it was a cast of the real life bone. And actually some of the eggs are here too. So this actually gets to Fluid's question about how do they identify the full size of one of these babas. It just depends on what the size of the egg is. So they were full size and ready to hatch once they fit inside the egg. So these are elongulidae eggs from China. These are spherolotus eggs, also from China. And these are mackerel species eggs, also from China. So you're seeing 3 different sizes of dinosaur baba here. And then here's Archaeopteryx, right? Everyone's favorite feathered dinosaur. Whoop. There we go. And some miniature reconstructions as well. All right. I'm going to head down in just a second, y'all. I wanted to give y'all one more look at this dino. Another one of the Deinonychus. So this is a Deinonychus. I believe this one's a cast as well. This will be a replica skeleton. Outside, right outside the building, they have a full statue of 2 Deinonychus, which I think is really cool, like right outside the Natural History Museum. Again, so there's something really cool to be able to see, like, oh yeah, there's just a Deinonychus outside. That's pretty cool. And yeah, like, it is really heckin' cool to be able to have that and just to see these dinosaurs. The model above, yeah, so that's the idea of this one, JC, is that it's built with gears, but the idea is to demonstrate a little bit of its movement. All right. So guys, let's head downstairs. The museum is closing in a few minutes. Thank y'all for hanging with us.
Bye.
Say it again. Let's say bye. Muncherino saying bye. So we're gonna go ahead and raid on out. I'll see y'all later today around 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Whack-A Wednesday for some science art and another one of our women in STEM interviews tonight with Draw Curiosity. Guys, we're going to go ahead and raid on out now to one of my very besto friendos, the illustrious Irish John Games. Here are the raid calls, folks, that you can copy pasta. Let Mr. Irish know who sent you on over and what we were up to today. Tell him about the Dino Museum, and the VOD will be up for this. So if y'all missed any of it, do check it out. And then the pinned message at the top is to the exhibit itself, where if you liked what you saw today, you can donate to the museum. Guys, thank y'all again for hanging. Have a great evening, a great time zone, wherever y'all may be, and I'll see y'all real soon. Again, everybody, take care.